iron is sharper than Shannon. Talking fake heavy while the world plays short. 2 dogs got a man at 25 like he is. Sports in the game. Dropping news like reporters from the sideline. Going live, yeah, it's about to be grind time. So tune in or get left out. 2 Dogs Radio, droning, you're the best out.
What's up? It's the 2 Dogs Sports Talk Show coming at you this Tuesday afternoon in T-Town, where it's hot as I don't know what outside, but it's burning up in here, and y'all know we're gonna get it cracking. We got a special guest coming in, Mr. Caden McFarland of KJRH Channel 2 News. He's a sports director, plus the co-host of the Pat Jones Show. We got a good interview that we're gonna do, a part 1 and a part 2, and then also we got Mr. Wall Street Bike Rally man himself, the creator of the 50,000, 200,000 people in Tulsa, Oklahoma 2 weeks ago, Mr. Byron Perry. Y'all know when Byron come on, there's always going to be something crazy because he's going to say something nonsense. He's the Skip Bayless. he's the Skip Bayless of Black Wall Street.
Put some respect on Chet's name. Put some respect.
I thought you gonna say something great. He already started. What's going on, yo? How's it going, man?
Man, Byron coming with the shenanigans off top, bro. He's talking about we need to put some respect on Chet's name. Chet softer than a cotton on in a rainstorm. And with it being windy, bro,
put some respect on Chet's name.
No, bro.
Hey, man, he came with some shenanigans even when he was giving a reply on one of my posts.
Yeah, I was reading the post, bro. I was like,
put some respect on Chet's name.
Why?
Chet played how Chet is supposed to play.
4 points.
Chet played
2 rebounds.
We'll get into it.
Okay, basically what he's saying is he's not shocked by the way Chet played. He didn't expect Chet to play any different than the way Chet played. So he said, hey, he cool with it because he didn't expect Chet to do anything different anyhow.
Bro, you getting next year, his salary is $40 million.
Earning every penny.
No.
Earning every penny.
Okay, we'll get it.
Earning every
penny.
We'll
get in that. So how was your weekend, Barry?
It was good, man. It was good. To be perfectly honest with you, this past weekend was the second time I actually got out and played golf in 2026. The second time. That's crazy.
Have you recuperated yet?
From the rally?
Yeah.
Man, the rally is getting to be a year-round thing, bro.
I know.
It really is taking on a life of it is a year-round thing. I mean, literally, we walk out of the rally, and as much as internally we're like, this happened, that happened, da. Let's get back, and these are things we can work on. Then the phones and the emails start coming in, man, and
next year.
Yeah, I mean it doesn't stop. It literally doesn't stop.
Did y'all know that the biker group from Houston was having their big meeting here in Tulsa?
Are you talking about the Buffalo Soldiers?
Yeah.
So yes, we knew that. Yes, we were aware of that for the Buffalo Soldiers. They love coming here. They love, and that was only I don't want to say it wrong, so I'm just gonna say that was only if I got it right. That was only 3 chapters. That's not their entire organization.
People came from just 3 chapters.
That's just 3 chapters. The Buffalo Soldiers is
wow.
I mean I'm trying to think. Man, you caught me off guard. So next to it's a group, the East Bay Dragons. I think the East Bay Dragons are like the oldest African-American motorcycle club in the country. It's like the East Bay Dragons out of Oakland, and then it's a crew out of Chicago. And they, as far as like the true timeline, they're like the 2 oldest. But then like coming right after that is the Buffalo Soldiers. And an interesting thing about that group is they are a lot of former law enforcement and military guys. Wow. So they have a very, very regimented background to itself. And then, they're part of the motorcycle culture. But yeah, that was only 3 chapters. Buffalo Soldiers are huge.
Yeah,
huge.
Because when I was down there at the health fair, I seen them walking around.
Yeah.
And you didn't ever see them all together.
Yeah.
But I knew they was deep.
Yeah, did y'all see the photograph?
But then when I seen the photograph, they said they brought 1,000 people down here.
Yeah. Walked in the street in a mask. I showed it to my dad. My dad was like, if that didn't shut down downtown Tulsa, I don't know what else did. I don't care what y'all did other than that. But that right there, that shut downtown down.
San Antonio group was pretty deep too.
Oh man, Memphis was deep. I mean, Memphis might have had. I'm gonna say it. Memphis. I'm sorry, I don't know the name of the club, but Memphis probably had the largest Cajun boil in the history of Tulsa, up under the bridge on Greenwood. I mean, I'm talking about, man. I'm serious. I'm serious when I say this. Now they probably had 400 pounds of crab legs.
Wow.
500 pounds of shrimp. And I mean, and they group itself was maybe 80 people. And they had like pans of crab legs and shrimp that they were like giving away to people. I mean, my daughter got some. I mean, they were literally giving away, shrimp boil plates Saturday evening. And this was like about 4 or 5 o'clock.
Wow.
I had some folks here from Virginia, and they were just blown away to like see the sheer enormity of like how many people were there, because we talk about it. It's the Black Wall Street Rally. It's bringing the motorcycle community, but then when you actually see it, you really can't fathom. I mean, I can tell you what it is. I can say where it is. I can talk about the history of it, but until you
witness it,
but that's the whole thing. People are like, well, you got to understand, it's not the young people. You have old. The rally is older people, doctors, lawyers, teachers, police officers. So the trouble that you will have normally at something like June, like a Juneteenth or something like that, which we ain't gonna have no trouble at Juneteenth, but not that normal trouble that you normally have. Yeah. You're not gonna have at this rally because these people ain't traveling all this way to do all that.
And you missed it because you were at the Health and Wellness Village, which I'm getting a bunch of calls about that. But here we go, yo. Over at the BMX park where the concert was, we're walking out of the concert Saturday night after One Way performed, and the dude who was giving us a ride was taking us. We had to go to the north end. We didn't go. We were going to the back end of the BMX park, right? And so we're walking out, and it was one of my homeboys that was up here playing golf from Dallas. And I mean, the number of RVs and fifth wheels was probably about 40. I mean, and these were people that they could care less about the concert. I mean, one lady had a karaoke machine. It was giving her own Diana Ross one-person concert. I mean, and she was throwing down on Ain't No Mountain High Enough. Okay, I mean, I saw this, and dude looked at me. He was like, "These people came deep." I'm like, "Yeah." I mean, they could. You could have had Shaka Khan performing on that stage, and they could care less about who was up there. They was having that much of a good time.
Yeah, it was nice, man. It was real. Like I said, I was at the Health and Wellness tent.
That's blowing up.
And it was nice.
Appreciate you for being. I hope, like I said, I haven't even got all the feedback from it, but that was something. And I don't mean to cut you off, but you work in the health and wellness space. You work in the health space. You know what I'm saying? And you have a son that you deal with a lot of stuff like that. But for somebody like myself that does not work in health, and we did that, man. We had the first conversation about what ended up happening 2 weeks ago in the end of February. Okay. And so that whole from concept to fruition came about in about 2.5 months. But it was a learning experience for me, because it's one thing to talk about how we in our community need to talk about health, and I'll say health and wellness, but it's another thing to actually hear from people that are clinicians or in that realm, in that space, to talk about the true things that are going on as far as the disparities and the outcomes and stuff like that. And then to hear people talk about how, it is so relevant that you have a group like we have to get the opportunity to do what y'all were doing. You know what I'm saying? That's like, you don't have that anywhere. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That is not happening at any event, not at a fraternity convention, a sorority convention. You're not having what y'all were a part of 2 weeks ago happen anywhere.
Yeah, because it was really cool because, like I said, we deal with sickle cell.
Yeah.
and we have people just walk by, they see our sign, and they come and they donate because they say, I had a family member that died, or I need to know what I need to do to get tested. How do I know? So it was, and then just for the mental health part, getting the help from the mental health part, it was dealing with health and wellness. And like I said, when we do our back to school bash, we have like 45 community agents, health and people don't really understand the impact when you bring the health and wellness to the people. Because a lot of them cannot come to the hospital, but when you have everything there in one stop shop in one place.
But we're finding that's what needs to happen. Yes. It needs to be brought to the people. Yes. Because that's one of the big problems that we have, especially in our community, is that there are so many, what's the loss for the word? There are so many thoughts about the entire spectrum, from mental health, heart health, diabetes prevention and care. There are so many, we get so many issues and thoughts about what is and what isn't and what is wrong, that the communication is just stopping. It's not happening. But you look in this setting, I mean, it was major, man. That is a big thing. Literally in the last 2 weeks, man, I've had, obviously I work on the golf side. Between the golf and the health and wellness, that has occupied a majority of my time. Seriously going on with how we're planning for, 2027 with that.
Okay. Yeah. It was a nice event, man. It was nice.
And you were only there for one day, right? Because y'all had an event on Saturday. Y'all were just there Friday.
Yeah, just there Friday.
Okay.
Yeah, we was there Friday, and we was preparing for our women empowerment team for that Saturday, where we had tickets they sold out because they sold them in advance. We had over 250 people there with women and decked out. I don't know if you've seen the pictures on Facebook that I posted on Facebook. I'll show you some of the pictures, and it was just 2 to 9. It's one of those events where they bring in like 7 to 8 vendors, all of them women, and they come in. The women come shop. It's a nice, nice event that we do. So, but yeah, we planning on being a part of the health and wellness again.
Oh
yeah.
It
was awesome.
We've had a 2 recap meetings, and actually planning is going on. I got an email about some folks that have reached out now. We want to be a part of it. I'm like, okay.
That's the way it happens, especially when they see the size and see what happens and see what goes on. Then you start getting the people to coming in.
We're gonna see what happens, with that from a whole 12 months instead of 2.5. We're gonna see what's up.
Okay.
We're gonna see what's up.
All right, now, hey, y'all know we're gonna talk about sports. When we get back, we're gonna play part 1 of the
Fighting Irish, Notre Dame.
Yeah, because he'll fight in Irish. He love Notre Dame.
Most definitely.
Caden McFarland interview, and then we're gonna get.
I've told him that they cannot win a national championship. They can't. You don't want to hear that though. That's why you don't put me in front of him.
So we're gonna be right back here on the $2 Sports Talk Show, and we're gonna come back with the part 1 of the Caden McFarland interview.
What? Hey, Trey, you know this one gonna be crazy. That girl through the roof. Yeah, ain't no limits. Know the grain, so divine, we on business. Told the line, blow your mind, we on Guinness. Did the crime, not the time, like a witness. You beginnings, ain't no limits. Know the grind, so divine, we on business. Told the line, blow your mind, we on Guinness. Did the crime, not the time, like a witness. Like a Guinness. We got favor all around, now you see the team. Swore it up, when they get to cutting, they gon' flee the scene. Had to thank the Lord for the suffering, then he intervened. I done been down bad, sketching for any means. I done been out bad, sketching with the outcast. Trying to smell the roses when it's bombs over Baghdad. Jesus told me back that this ain't about no ass cap. I was just a juvie when he stood me how to bounce back. I was taking rubies, then he used me, still finessing with a tool. Got depression, was my best friend, popping necks and feeling woozy. Cancel rest and I go through it. I'm a mess, I think I blew it. Then you bless me through the ruins.
How to order chicken wings. Number 1, find a good wing spot.
I know a wing spot, Max Wings.
Number 2, decide if you want a combo or if you want to order a la carte.
Huh? What's that?
Well, combos come with chicken, Veggie sticks, fries, and a drink for a discounted price. A la carte means that you order each item separately.
Okay.
3. Decide if you want bone-in, boneless, or cauliflower wings, and then determine the delicious flavor you want on your wings.
I didn't even know cauliflower had wings.
You learn something new every day. Have you been to Max Wings?
Yep.
Max Wings is located at 782 East Pine Street in Tulsa. We're open Monday through Thursday from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. and on Friday and Saturday from 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Come to Max Wings, home of the dry rub fries.
The 36th Street North Event Center is proud to kick off another great season of social gatherings with family and friends. And no matter what the size of your next event, the 36th Street North Event Center has you covered. From event decor to live DJs, even catering, and a world-class sound and lighting system, 36th Street North has your event covered. We offer a state-of-the-art event booking and planning process from start to finish. And whether you're hosting 100 or 1,000, 36th Street North Event Center is the premier event center of North Tulsa, located at 1125 East 36th Street North. Share the experience at 36th Street North Event Center and see why we are the #1 choice for upscale events. From weddings to birthdays, corporate functions, holiday parties, and so much more. Visit us today at 36theventcenter.com or call and reserve your spot at 918-200-9046.
Hey, it's Alfred Woodard. When I'm in Tulsa, I keep it on KBOB. That's how I find out what's really happening. KBOB 89.9 FM.
Hit a slam dunk like man up. Enemy salty ran up. It's a foul move and one. We say man. Jesus, I own my life. I'ma shine bright as a light. I don't need diamonds to shine. I just keep God on my mind, dog. Give him my altar like sign, watch me clean like pines, hey. I call God, yeah. Jesus, he the reason I be rapping, singing in the hood and trenches. I don't need a mention. This some time in prison. I got rescued, not arrested. Now I'm living. I be Holy Spirit sipping Bible totes, and I was chosen for this moment. Devil choking home, and you don't believe me? Take a look. A few years ago, I paroled. I was in the basement, just a bed and clothes. Prayer work, I'ma let you know. Now I'm saving souls all around the globe, preaching Jesus' name. It's the only hope. Yeah.
Welcome back to the $2 Sports Talk Show here on KBOB 89.9 FM. All right, y'all. Coming up is the Sickle Cell statewide 5K run, walk, or jog for a cure and health bazaar, September 19, 2026. It's going to be on historical Greenwood here in Tulsa. You know, you can go to our website. You can register now. Registration is open right now. It's $30 for pre-registration from August 1st to 2026. You'll get a free swag bag if you register before August 1st. After August 1st, from August 2nd to September 18th, it's $35. And the day of the walk is $40. And team of 10 or more, pre-registration only, is $30 per person. Everybody will get a medal. This is a timed run. So come out, register. You go to our website, go to www.sicklecelloklahoma.org. Go to www.sicklecelloklahoma.org, and you can register right there. Click on the walk and go register. Support Sickle Cell. It's a statewide event. Support the family with sickle cell disease. We service all 77 counties. So we got individuals all the way down to the panhandle that has sickle cell disease, or sickle cell traits. So go. This is what helps us do what we do. This is what helps us do what we do for the back to school bash that we do, where we block off Black Wall Street. Block off off the street right there at Langston. And we have over 45 community agencies at this event. We have 4 classes that we do. And then we give out over 1,000 backpacks. We give out food, whatever we can think of, we try to give out. And it's a one-stop shop. So anything that your child might need before school, you can go here. A lot of times it's here. We have interpreters at this back to school bash. But the walk is what helps us do what we do throughout the community throughout the year. So make sure you go register. Go to www.sicklecelloklahoma.org. All right, y'all. We had Mr. Caden McFarland of KJRH Channel 2 News. He's a sports director at KJRH and also co-host of the Pat Jones Show on the Sports Animal. We had him on today, and we're gonna play the first half of the interview with Mr. Caden McFarland. You're on the $2 Sports Talk Show with Drone and Yo, and we on here with the sports director of Channel 2 and also the co-host of the Pat Jones Show on the Sports Animal, Mr. Caden McFarland. How you doing, sir?
I'm good. How are you doing? And thank you so much for having me on. I love that this kind of thing exists in Tulsa. It gives me a chance to learn from people who, have a different viewpoint or come from a different era or just in a different, part of town or with their eyes on some different athletes than me. So I'm looking forward to it. Thank you for having me.
Oh, thank you for being here. Yeah, our show, we try not to go negative because like I told, like we said the mainstream media do enough negative stuff.
Yeah. So I say this just about everywhere I go, anytime I get the chance to talk. That I forget the name of the guy, but there's a former Supreme Court justice from mid-20th century who had a quote that became somewhat famous. He said, "First thing I do in the morning is turn to the sports page." This is when everybody read the newspaper, right? First thing I do is turn to the sports page because it highlights men's success, the things, our accomplishments. The rest of the paper highlights his failures. And so I have great respect for the people that I work with here at Channel 2 who really do the hard work of digging, being that watchdog, holding politicians and other people like that to account and giving people a daily account of what's going on in the community. And I'm just so blessed to mostly, obviously, sometimes you got to report on things you would rather not, but mostly be able to spend the time that I have shining the spotlight we have on kids in our community who are doing great things, who are really accomplished athletes. And so it has been, I got into this job probably because I wanted, some of the attention, just for a lot of the same reasons, probably, people have tried to be on TV for years and years. But the thing that has made it such a great job now over 25 years is that it makes you part of a community. And there's just something really wholesome about being able to put the spotlight on other people and celebrate their success. So it's been fun doing that here in Tulsa for a pretty long time now.
Yeah. The thing, like I said, sports, you gotta talk. You might have to talk negative when you're talking to games and sports things, but as far as people's personal life, when we go that route, it's always an end game to show where they started and where they at now.
Yeah.
And so I know when we had Prentice Elliott on one time, we went there, but it was to show where he started and where he is now.
Sure.
And what he's doing now, to let people know no matter where you start from and the failures and the things you might go through, that's not your end point.
Yeah. I heard Ray Allen one time talk about how, guys at the highest level understand that there's scrutiny that comes along with that, and if you don't win a championship, you get all the way to the Western Conference Finals like the Thunder, the season is deemed a failure, right? And he said, but the thing you got to understand about us is we're real people who came from a real neighborhood somewhere. And all of us who make it into this level are the 1%ers. You know what I mean? We are the guy in our neighborhood at our time who made it this far. So we are a success, in our minds, no matter what. And I think it's good to keep that perspective in mind. You know what I mean? The Oklahoma City Thunder did not accomplish their goals for the season, but what a wonderful franchise that is, that roster, what a collection of talent. and to have it in this state and to be able to go along for that ride, like all of that is positive to me. Game 7's a bummer, and that goes all the way down the line for, Union, for instance, football, had a season that was atypical for them 1 year ago, struggled more than they typically do. But the kids who got on the field had to be really, really good to get on the field and worked, for years and years to get there. And so all of that deserves celebration.
Yes, it does. So where did you start from? Are you originally from Tulsa, or are you a implant?
So I come from New Mexico, a little tiny town called Grants, which is only about an hour away from Albuquerque. I went to the University of New Mexico in Albuquerque. But my mother was born in Tulsa, actually in the same hospital, St. John, that my two kids were born in here. Okay. My grandfather lived here. He was a University of Tulsa season ticket holder. He went to TU way, way back, like when Glenn Dobbs was in school. So we visited Tulsa in the summers when I was a kid. I always got a kick out of the college football, in this state, and sort of watched it from afar. Right. And my first job in sports TV, I worked for a TV station in Albuquerque for a bit, but my first job in sports was in Abilene, Texas. I moved out there for kid. I spoke to a second grade class recently, and somebody warned me. They said, they're going to ask you how much money you make. So have an answer ready. And I told them, well, my first job in television, they paid me $6.60 an hour. So I make a little bit more than that now. But so anyway, I moved to Abilene, Texas for $6.60 an hour back when I guess that was the minimum wage, and worked there for a couple of years, met my wife. She was from Abilene. We were prepared to be there for a long time because that's where she was from. But she sort of got the itch to go somewhere else. And the very first place we found that had an opening for what I did as a sports guy and what she did as a television local news producer was in Tulsa. And I, didn't tell her how excited I was about that, but I badly wanted that to happen, because I had familiarity with this place, loved the sports scene. This was just before the Oklahoma City Thunder, so it wasn't even as good then as it is now. But I had a hunch that if we got here, we'd be able to make that home. And that's exactly what's happened. We've been here for almost 20 years now. Got to work with Big Al Jerkins, a guy I'm sure you remember well, yes. And just loved, not just working for him, but being a friend. I texted back and forth with him last night for, a couple hours. And so learned a lot from him. Channel 2 has been fantastic. I want to say in, 75 years here at Channel 2, I think we've only had 4 sports directors. It's been a good job. If you can get this one, you hold it as long as you can, because it's so much fun to cover the Tulsa sports scene.
Now, what made you want to be a sports anchor or sports director? Did you have a sports background, or you just love sports?
Sort of. I mean, I certainly played it as a kid. I played all the sports as a kid. I wasn't a bad little athlete. I played varsity, in basketball, baseball, and tennis. Stayed away from football because, one, in New Mexico, just culturally, it's nowhere near as big a deal. The basketball players, have their pick of the cheerleaders as opposed to the football players in New Mexico. So you're not necessarily striving to be a football player in the same way, as I remember it, at least. But I played, varsity high school. But even when I was a kid, I would rather be watching sports or reading about it even than I would playing it. I just loved watching it, analyzing it. My parents, we didn't even have a TV for a couple of years. And so it was like we would visit friends from church and I would just be glued to their television. I still remember the first NCAA basketball championship game I got to watch was in '89, Michigan and Seton Hall. And my parents just could not drag me out of a side room where I was watching that game, to come have dinner. And so anyway, there was something about it's the opposite of today, where you take with your phone or on your phone the highlights of heck. I mean, not only can you watch anything you want to live, but with YouTube, you could go back and watch old games. I never would have gone to school, if I'd had that in my pocket back then. But it's like it always left me wanting more, And so when we finally got a TV and got cable, got to watch the Cubs or the Braves or the Mets, and just love. I think like a lot of people wanted to get into play-by-play, and those opportunities, I didn't know exactly how to get there, to be honest. And local TV opened up first, and this has been an awesome job. The first station I worked for was KRQE in Albuquerque, interned there while I was a student at the University of New Mexico. And I was interning with 3 other girls. And we had some wildfires raging through New Mexico just one day. And I went in on a day off and they said, you're hired. And so I did that for final year and a half that I was in school. In the final 6 months that I was in school, I decided, I don't want to be a news reporter. I'd really like to get into sports. So I made a tape, which is how you got hired back then, still how you get hired mostly. And just me doing some reporting for 5 or 6 minutes, sent it out, got hired in Abilene, Texas. And Tulsa's been my second stop, and have stayed forever. Hope to stay for a lot longer.
Now, what is your biggest highlight that you can remember from being a sportscaster in New Mexico and then coming to Tulsa, being a sportscaster here?
Okay, so the Thunder winning the NBA championship and getting to go along for that ride last year stands out without question. There have been a number of OU bowl games, and I would say any time that OU plays Texas, for instance. I mean, those are Saturdays that I cherish, that trip down to Dallas and everything that goes with that. And OSU football has had incredible moments over the last 20 years, and TU has as well. I'll tell you, the time, and it's probably because I was so young at the time, but covering high school football in Texas was a lot of fun. And Abilene High had a really good team while I was there. So my very first fall covering high school football, Abilene High advances to round 3 of the playoffs, and they're taking on Southlake Carroll. And Southlake was led at that time by Chase Daniel, who went on to Missouri and then played in the NFL, was a backup for a really long time. And Southlake was the defending champ. And Texas Stadium, the old stadium the Cowboys played in, I think it had 40 or 45,000 fans that day. And I had butterflies in my stomach like I never have covering an event. And a lot of it had to do with it was the first time like that for me. But high school football has a special place in my heart. And some of the things we've covered, I remember, I think it was the 2009 Jinx Union State Championship game played in Stillwater. I think the final score was 50-47. And Union beats them that day, I think, on like a trick play. They throw a lateral and then the wide receiver throws downfield for a touchdown. There have been so many of those moments. Bixby has authored a bunch of them. Jinx has authored a bunch of them. Owasso and Union and Broken Arrow as well. So when you think like there are highlights every year, you kind of have to ask me a year and I can probably give you a top 5. Obviously, the Thunder winning the championship, being a part of that, doing a post-game show after Game 7, the parade coverage a couple days later, and everything that meant for that city. That's unique and it's more fresh in my mind. But I'm a college football guy, and so there have been a bunch of them. OU beating Alabama last year. OU beating Alabama with Trevor Knight in the Sugar Bowl back in the 2013 season. I love those big bowl games, love those playoff games, traveling and seeing the two sides, the stadium sort of split 50-50 like an OU Texas game is. I'm a college football guy. So you name the year and I can probably come up with a pretty good top 5 for highlights. So long story short, I've been blessed to do this here, where the NBA and college football have been my passion since I was a little guy, and to cover it to the extent that I get to cover it here is pretty cool.
So you say your grandparents was here. And so you've been in Tulsa pretty much probably close to half your life, I'm figuring.
Yep, pretty close.
Do you feel like an implant, or do you feel like it was home because you also came to visit when you was a child?
This is home, man. This is home. I mean, I don't know. A lot of my family has moved away from New Mexico. When I go back, my aunt and uncle have a ranch up in the Zuni Mountains, so it's a great place to get away. And the weather is much better than it is here, no question, certainly in the summer. And the food is really good. There's a way in which New Mexico feels familiar. And there is a way in which, obviously, where you're raised is always home. But this is home for us now. Our church family, we've gone to Battle Creek Church in Broken Arrow from the time we got here. So for almost 2 decades, everybody we know, is here. And then the great thing about this job, and it's escalated since I got into radio as well, I get to celebrate the success of others. And then I think because of that, people associate you with some of the great memories they have. It's sports related. So when I get stopped in the grocery store or wherever I may go here in Tulsa, very rarely is it some sort of negative interaction or, people, I guess the last couple of days, people are down on Chet Holmgren, for instance, but mostly it's like people associate you with, you reported on my nephew's state championship. You know what I mean? Like it's all really fun stuff. And so, man, like even to strangers, people I don't know, this is home. I mean, I'm reminded of that everywhere I go here in Tulsa because there's such a great sports community. People care about it so much. So I get to carry on that conversation, even with strangers, sort of all day long, get to talk sports, which is a really, really fun thing.
So the question I have, because you're from Texas and you're here in OU, did you ever have a Texas OU dilemma where you was rooting because you're from Texas and you got Bedlam? Did you ever have
that's a great
dilemma?
question. So we knew Colt McCoy and his family pretty well. He was in the Abilene area as a high school quarterback when I was there. And so his dad was pretty media savvy. He played for a small school, so they didn't get, front page billing like Abilene High, Cooper High, the bigger schools in the area. So when they played a first round playoff game and the coaches could control that schedule, he would schedule it for Thursday. So they would get more media coverage. And then I would have Colt come in studio with me to sort of co-host our Friday night coverage of the other teams that were playing playoff games. So I knew Colt McCoy at least a little bit. I had him, like my wife's voicemail for years was Colt McCoy saying, "Hey, you missed Allison, but this is Colt McCoy, Texas Longhorns." So I did pull for Texas. And before I got here, I remember covering, I think Colt's second start was against Ohio State in a matchup of, I think Texas was number 1, Ohio State was number 2, or vice versa, in September of 2006, the year after Vince Young led the Longhorns to the national championship. So I was definitely not a Texas fan because I grew up a Notre Dame fan, diehard. I'm a Notre Dame guy. That's the one team that I live and die with. But I certainly pulled for Texas the time I was in Texas. And I covered a couple of Red River games in 06 and 07 when Colt played against OU, certainly sort of kind of pulling for Texas, but covering it. I mean, that's the thing about this job. Even if you kind of want to see a team win, you have to maintain, you got to be a professional. So, so yes, for a couple of years when Colt was the quarterback and I was here in 08, 09, I was a little conflicted, if I'm being honest, but that faded pretty quickly. And there's no game the University of Texas plays in where I'm rooting for them anymore. Like that is long since faded. I'm an Okie without question. So now here's the thing with being in the state that I appreciate, because like if you were in the state of Arkansas, and I understand Arkansas State is there, but sort of everybody is pulling the same direction. Everybody has one of those hog hats in their closet somewhere.
Right.
Here, I can't be a Sooners fan or a Cowboys fan. And I feel like I'm doing my job. And trust me, I do get this. If I'm getting negative feedback from both, if Sooner fans think I'm pro Cowboys and if Cowboys fans think I'm pro Sooners, then I'm probably doing a pretty good job. So I don't pull for any of our teams like that exactly. But because we knew Colt so well, I wanted to see good things happen. So that was kind of the only conflict I might have ever had, was all those years ago. I kind of wanted to see good things happen to Colt McCoy. But no, I am not, I don't have a single Sooner shirt or Cowboy shirt. I might have a University of Tulsa hat because that feels more like Switzerland. And it's also, my city. But no, I maintain, I'm professional about that stuff to the extent that I can be.
Yeah,
I always want to see OU beat Alabama. I can tell you that. For some reason, that one gets me going.
Yeah, I'm an OU. I'm an OU alum. My family was OU, so I root for OU. But when we try to talk, we try to be honest and tell the truth about OU, OSU, whoever it is. We don't really tell non-truths.
Sure.
but you know who we root for, who we are, but we try to be balanced. Cause I tell anybody, if I root for anybody except OU, I might get disowned in the family.
Yeah. It's, and the thing, I've got so many great friends who are big OU people, and most of them are not afraid to tell hard truths. You know what I mean? Like the standard is so high for OU. If they fall short of it, their fans aren't going to pretend like that's okay or they didn't fall short of it. I mean, there's some brutal honesty in this state, even from the biggest homers.
So what was your biggest highlight that you've interviewed or that you met? That one person that you like, I can't believe I actually just met this person.
Yeah. Okay. So a couple things. The one thing that comes to mind, first of all, I have been a huge NBA fan from the time I was really, really young. And I nerded out about it, around the turn of around like 1999 to 2000. If you're old enough to remember that, everybody in sports media was coming up with their list of the top 50 or top 100 greatest athletes of all time or in this sport or that sport. So I remember having a notebook I had my list with all the statistics written out of these are, in my opinion, the top 100 NBA players. I had Michael Jordan games on VHS. I still have the entire 1993 NBA Finals somewhere in my garage. Watched that stuff over and over. So a bit of a student of the game or a historian, that sort of thing. And so I was fully aware of how great LeBron James was and what his place in history was likely to be. Being there when he won his first championship in 2012 in Miami, and there was this moment, and we did, I'm not going to say I never had like a one-on-one with him, but there were times you're holding a microphone in his vicinity. Right. That's not exactly like what you're talking about. I don't think actually having an interaction or moment, but I'll say this, as we were leaving after we had interviewed in the locker room, like James Harden and Nick Collison, Big Al and myself were making our way through a tunnel, and just in front of us, just like inches away, these double doors spring open. And this was the room where NBA TV was doing its satellite interview with players. And out comes LeBron James. So I'm 2 feet away from LeBron James moments after he's become an NBA champion for the first time. And that memory, and Big Al and I both went silent, looked at each other, and so we followed along behind him, for a little bit. And just to have been that close to greatness in one of the most meaningful moments of his career, like that one stands out. Now, if you're talking about someone that I have actually really gotten to know, and I can't believe it. Boy, that's a good question. It would have to be probably like an old timer, right? Because if it's somebody that's more of a contemporary, like for instance, and I know he's in the news now, but like the Josh Jacobs story, coming from where he came from at McLean and then being there for his signing day, and now what he's become as an all-pro. Like, it's a pleasure to watch any of these guys come up. I ran into Aaron Colvin at OU spring game a month or two ago, and he told me he's doing farming out east of Dallas. And anyway, but you remember these kids when they were in high school, and you follow them through college, and then they end up doing what they do in the NFL. And that's really cool. But it's different when you knew somebody in high school. It's not like you can be starstruck by them.
You got to take the test.
Maybe meeting Allen Iverson was one, and getting to, throw some questions.
Welcome back to the $2 Sports Talk Show. That's part one of the Caden McFarland interview. Second part, we get into
Go Irish.
We get into the Oklahoma City Thunder. What do you think is going to happen with the Thunder? We'll play the second part.
Put some respect on Chet's name.
Oh, Jesus, have mercy. I ain't going to hear that. But here we go. Let's talk about that Thunder San Antonio game. The Thunder, they lost the game. I still believe they had a chance to win it. I know a lot of people are upset with Chet, which rightfully so. If you're supposed to be a second leg,
there you go. But rightfully so. What?
But this is what I said. I said when he got banged on, when Wemby dunked on him.
No. When the other cat dunked,
Vessel blocked his shot.
That wasn't when he got dunked on. it was literally, some people when they get dunked on, they move to the side. No, he got literally dunked on by Wemby, and if you see his whole demeanor for the rest of the game was totally changed.
Oh my God!
Now when he got his shot blocked and dude started talking noise to him, and he
bowed
him.
The one with the man bun.
Yeah.
Now that would have messed me up if a dude with a man bun, started talking mess to me, man. I couldn't take that.
But
a man bun.
I guess I'm from a different breed, bro.
Okay, you don't wear a man bun.
No, but where happened to the competitiveness?
That left the NBA in 2010.
But if you look at when,
because where the dog would have came out and me.
But you got to understand,
how many teams got a dog?
He every time Chet plays Wemby, he never shows a dog mentality.
Is Wemby a dog? Is Wemby a dog, yo?
Every time he plays,
is Wemby a dog? Just answer the question. Is Wemby a dog?
He has moments.
So you either are or you are not. As Kelvin Sampson said, you always got to treat a dog like a dog.
I think he is, but I think he's a puppy. I think he's a puppy. He's a puppy.
Okay, I got to talk to you.
See, back in the day, if it was me, when this what bothered me about the game.
Define the day. Where are we going back? 80s, 90s, to 2010s?
90s,
okay,
80s.
All right.
But this what bothered me. When Wemby got 5 fouls,
they didn't go at him. But they never go at him. You're asking them strategically to do something that they never do.
That's what I got a problem with. Because I'm used to that. If you got 5 fouls,
so let's ask
somebody first to go at you and make you foul out or make the refs do something.
So let's ask the real question: why do the Thunder not attack Wembanyama at the rim? Why do they not do that?
That's the $1 million question. That's the $1 million question.
They do not do it. I'm just talking about Game 7. I'm just in Game 7, I counted, and this is just from me watching. And
I seen them run to the hole.
If you watch a game,
back like it was poison.
If you watch a game with me, you need to have a notepad and a pen because we writing stuff down. I counted 13 separate possessions. And some of them were offensive rebounds, but I counted 13 separate times that the Thunder got a foot in the paint and they did not even attempt a shot. They kicked it out that Wemby was either rotating to or was in the paint. 13 separate possessions. What I didn't write down was of those 13, and I'm just shooting from the hip right here, but 13 different times they didn't attack the rim when they got a foot in the paint, nor did they even take a jump shot.
No.
And I would almost venture to say that of those 13 possessions, on 9 of them, they ended up not even getting a shot. They had turnovers. I mean, and the other 4 or 5, they ended up
the ball.
Well, it went late into the shot clock, and it was not a quality shot.
And this is what's going to happen. They are going to have to get somebody. They got the 12th pick, the 17th pick.
Here we go.
They're gonna have to get somebody that's willing. I was in favor of keeping Chet on the bench and just letting Hartenstein play. At least Hartenstein was trying to do something. At least he was trying to shoot.
Are you saying? So you're saying offensively? Because we have to talk about this on the offensive end.
Hartenstein was trying to shoot.
Okay, all right.
Even on defense, Wemby was still doing his thing, but Hartenstein was trying to do something.
Okay.
But the thing is, when you're the number 2 guy,
who's the number 2 guy?
He's who's
the number 2 guy?
Chet's supposed to be allegedly number 2 guy.
Of what?
On the Thunder.
If J-Dub is not there,
it does not go. It does not go like that.
I'm telling you what they looked at Chet as.
He is the 3rd option on their team.
If J-Dub is there, yes.
But
that don't change.
Yes.
Chet doesn't move over to what J-Dub does.
I'll put it this way. He had open shots.
Yes, and he passed them
that he refused to shoot.
Yes, he did.
You cannot, like what I say, Chet needed to get 16 and 10.
Let me ask you this question. Hold on.
And Chet refused to do that.
Hold on. He did pass up a lot of open shots.
A lot.
But ask yourself this. Both of y'all ask yourself this legitimate question: where does Chet score from when the Thunder are what they normally are? Where does he get his shots from?
Around the perimeter and
second chance points.
No. But we're on the floor. We're on the floor. Corner three,
and
or
the baseline.
Corner three, wing three, and then and really he doesn't shoot from either elbow. I mean, that was something that Kevin Durant kind of perfected.
He get that mid range.
He doesn't shoot, and so
or at the rim,
or in the middle of the court.
Yeah.
Okay. So now here's the thing: who operates primarily for the Thunder in the middle of the court? SGA. So therefore, with J-Will out, with J-Dub out, you have Chet in a situation that he gets his shots from these specific spots. San Antonio is going to run him off of those spots. They did a very good job of that. Okay. So what I'm talking about, we go back to the shots he passed up. A lot of the shots that he passed up are just from areas that he doesn't take shots from. And in the NBA,
but some of those
guys score from where they score from.
I get that. But my thing is, he wasn't even trying to get to his spot.
And there's a reason for that.
No. If they trying to keep, you gotta make some kind of effort to get to your. Chet wasn't even trying to make any kind of effort to get to a spot. He wasn't trying. He wasn't trying to do anything. A lot
was blown for the Thunder with those guys being hurt.
Yeah.
Because here's the first thing: it became a moot point to even have Dort in the game.
Yeah.
Dort became a moot point because first of all, they were not going to guard him for any of his shots. They would, and then it became it's the immediate double team of SGA. You see what I'm saying? It became the immediate double team, and as the series wore on, it kind of became obvious that the Thunder wanted to stay away from the immediate double team because it was going to take so much effort for SGA just to complete the damn game.
Yeah.
So now Dort, you can't even put him out there at all. You can't even have him out there. Then
I look for Dort to be traded. He has 1 year left on this contract.
Yeah, he's getting
and it's
18 million.
They already said they're keeping Hardenstein.
Yeah,
they're not finna let go of Wallace unless Dort sign a real friendly deal.
Well,
Dort is the odd man out.
Well, I heard he makes 18 million, but he wants
22 or something.
22
like
to 25.
Dort, I'm telling you,
well, he's eligible for that.
Yeah.
He's eligible.
Dort is the odd man out. So he's the one that they're going to get rid of,
and they need to cut 50 million. So I heard it was Dort, Isaiah Joe, and
Wiggins just signed. Isaiah Joe just signed his contract. Wiggins just signed his contract.
But Wiggins is only getting 3.
Williams is only getting 8.
Yeah.
Williams is
one's
only getting 8.
3, one's getting 8, and Isaiah Joe getting 11.
They're not that far over into the luxury tax.
Right, but they're trying to stay.
But they're
trying to stay up.
But it's the second apron.
Yeah. And so my thing is, like I said, I think Dort is gone. I think Lou Dort's going to be gone. It wouldn't shock me if they got rid of Wiggins. They got rid of Isaiah Joe. Wiggins, I can see them getting rid of Dort and Wiggins.
I think Hartenstein is really going to be a casualty because
they already said they already came out and said they keep him.
Don't believe it. I don't believe any of that.
He's in negotiations right now for a new contract.
I'm telling you right now, I don't believe a lick of it because they went out and drafted the kid from Georgetown that had the ACL. Now Hartenstein may be around for another year, only because that kid needs a year to come back. But depending on what they draft, if they draft another 4, Hartenstein is expendable.
Well, no, this is what I'm saying though. When I say Harden, they're not getting rid of him this year. Dort, I can see them getting rid of Dort this year. I don't see Lou Dort on the Thunder when the season starts.
Well,
I don't see Wiggins on the Thunder when the season starts.
Well, I've been hearing like 6 different. They saying either draft someone at 12 and trade the 17, or take them both together and try to move up
to get Boozer.
Or to get Boozer or Wilson.
He wouldn't fit. He right now Wilson will be away because
you talking about the kid from North Carolina?
Yeah.
Caleb Williams.
Wilson.
Williams.
I don't think he would even get run right now.
Well, they saying that he's pro ready.
He's better offensively than Hartenstein is.
Yeah, he is.
So that's a player that you could get, and Hartenstein is now expendable.
So that's what I've been hearing. Or
if you get Caleb, because here's the thing: how much did we hear about in this series the struggles that the Thunder had scoring the basketball? Even when J-Dub and them played, they struggled to score the basketball.
And you got it right now with the way the Spurs is. And everybody's supposed to start trying to draft to beat the Spurs or beat the Thunder like they've been doing. The Spurs have shooters at every spot.
You got guys. Let's not say shooters. I think that's a little bit of a stretch. They got guys that can shoot, and they got guys that for this particular series they went out and made shots.
Yeah, they did.
Now, these are still NBA players, so we got to give them credit for that.
Yeah,
they went out and they made shots. I mean, it was a lot of times that when they swung the ball, drive and kick, what the NBA is right now. I mean, let's be real. I'm gonna go ahead and say it. The Spurs roster is what LeBron been looking for 15 years. Everybody said that LeBron needed to get a team where he got shooters around him. Well, guess what? That's the Spurs. Yeah. And here's the other thing. They all young.
Yep.
So the team that he been desperate for, he didn't want because he didn't want to play with young players. That's why he got the finals record that he has. But yeah, I mean, Champagne, he got moved. He was somewhere else.
I think Champagne came from Boston.
Yeah,
one of them came from Boston, either Vassell
and
or
one
Champagne.
came from Philly.
Yeah.
From McClung. So these were guys that it's not like people's like, oh, that's a shooter. I mean, he can shoot. They got guys.
What San Antonio
They
does.
got guys that made shots. I mean, it's still a make or a miss league.
And Wemby makes them better. When you have a certain type of player,
he's a willing.
It makes you.
He's a
better.
willing passer to those guys. And I say this all the time. If you watch Wemby with the ball in his hands compared to LeBron with the ball in his hands, sometimes it looks like LeBron is hesitant about giving the ball up, and everybody will say he makes the right basketball play. Wemby that thing is hot and it's coming out, and he's like, go knock that thing down. Mm-hmm. And you got guys that went and did that.
But that's why I say that you have he makes players go to another level that normally if they was on another team. It's like the story that you hear about, when I watch videos, they talk about Jordan when he went to North Carolina. Vince Carter talks about it all the time.
Yeah.
Where he went to North Carolina and he took these scrubs
and beat up on the Letterman.
Beat up the starter. And it was like, where did this come from?
Yeah.
It was because of who they was playing with. So sometimes who you playing with makes you better than what you are.
Well, I'm not gonna give him that much credit. To me, Castle
and Vessel played outside of their head,
and Harper,
and they probably I'm predicting a huge.
If you kick Fox in the knee, if you kick Fox in the ankle,
watch yourself now.
Fox was a key to because it steadied them. It steadied Castle with Fox.
But
they got a better ball handler.
Hold on, but what was that steady, yo? What was that steady, Watts? What was that steady? Whenever Fox wanted to, he could get down there, back them down, and take a 8-footer and knock it down.
And that's why when I was at home, like Kick Fox in the ankle. Get him out.
Hey, Fox the true. Hey, I mean,
because I knew what the key was.
Fox proved that to me when he was at Kentucky. There's a Facebook post I made years ago. I was like, we believe you.
Yeah,
you can ball.
Fox was the key.
He can go get a bucket. Fox can go get a bucket.
Yeah.
Whenever he wants to.
If they didn't have Fox on this, if Fox still had that high ankle sprain where he couldn't play,
different story.
Yeah. I believe that
the Thunder be playing New York tomorrow night.
I mean, it's Castle and Vessel, Man Bun and other dude. It's nice. They're athletic. They went up and they got Boone on people. But Fox can go get a bucket whenever he feels like it on whoever is guarding him.
Okay,
it makes no difference.
Yeah, Fox. I tell you what, Fox was the key. He was the key to where the Spurs winning that series. It was Fox.
I give him that. Because the bench didn't do much. The Thunder had multiple games where their bench outscored, San Antonio's bench
by double.
Yeah, I mean, my issue with Wemby is I don't understand why you're not making him just a jump shooter. It boggles my mind why you're not backing off of him and giving him nothing but jump shots. Because what he does that really hurts you, like what demoralizes you, is when he backs you down, he spins, he puts it up, and he gets his own rebound, or he gets fouled. I mean, there is no reason to ever foul him when he puts the ball on the floor.
Because the thing, Wemby, I tell you about it, the man, he's only been in the league 3 years. He hasn't really developed and understand his
spots on the floor,
his body, his spots.
Y'all believe that? Y'all believe?
I don't really.
No, he's playing the game that he wants to play, and it's not going to change.
Well, to me,
Wemby's game ain't going to change. Don't believe that. His game is not going. There's not going to be some evolution.
No. The reason why I say I really don't think he really understands his height and what he can do totally right now, because he is only 20, because you'll still see him bring the ball way down low instead of man, can't nobody get to you. You got a 9-foot wingspan. And he'll bring, because he thinks he's a guard, and he'll bring that ball down.
He is a guard, though. Watts, he is a guard.
No,
he is a guard.
No, you're a big man.
To me,
they said the same thing about KD. What is KD? Is KD not a guard?
Yes.
Thank you. Wemby's a guard.
To me, Wemby would dominate if he would learn how to have 1 foot in the paint, get on the baseline, call for the ball, have everybody else spread out, and have a baseline over to either shoulder jumper where he does a fadeaway jumper. It once he gets it down pat, it would be unstoppable.
But he's young. He still has a lot to develop.
Let me ask you this question, like what you're saying is he's starting low.
Yes,
he's starting low. Okay,
go down to the block, put 1 foot in the paint.
Okay, well, no. Before that, he's starting low. Okay. Yeah. What we saw in the games that Oklahoma City had success, and what we see other people that have success with him is
keep him at the 3-point line.
Well, no. When you fight with him, you once he comes low,
you bully him.
You see what I'm saying?
That's what Hartstein did. Hartstein fought with him.
My point to your suggestion of going down there is that doesn't make for a 20-year career. That he's got to go and fight on position for that many possessions just to go down there and get 2, when he can start on the perimeter and either get 3 or go to his go-to move and get fouled and maybe get 3.
So
he is not a guy that he's not looking at the short term of, I think he should have 1 foot in the paint. He's looking at, I want to play for 10, 15 years. And what game allows me to do that? And that's how he's playing. And I don't believe he's going to change.
But like I said, I think he still has to develop a lot more.
What? Develop what?
He still has a lot.
Develop what? What? Okay. What development did LeBron do? Did LeBron ever develop that post game that everybody said that he needed to have and he'd be unstoppable? Did KD ever go to that low, get 1 foot in the paint game? Did said he's 7 feet tall with them skills?
It wasn't on a consistent basis, but he did develop it, but it wasn't on a consistent basis.
Again, did KD develop that game with 1 foot in the paint like we're talking about with Wemby?
Nobody ever thought KD was going to do that.
Did Giannis ever develop that consistent 3-point shot?
No.
These things are not going to happen. Did Russell Westbrook ever get a jumper? No. Did Chris Paul ever change his style of how he played since he left Wake Forest? No. What you see is what it is. There is gonna be no evolution of Wemby to something else. That ain't happening.
No. That's not. I didn't say something else. I said he's gonna develop more of an offense. I think he's gonna develop more of an offense. I'm not saying
which is a double spin move when he dribbles low. He's gonna spin one way and spin the other way.
I'm not saying that he's not gonna keep being outside, because that's what he's gonna do. But I think he's gonna learn where he's gonna go down to the paint a little bit more and learn that back down or that turnaround. I think now will he do it on a consistent basis?
I don't think so.
No, but I think he will, because Wemby to me is more of for you to go sit with some cotton picking monks and for a whole week, 2 weeks, and do what they do.
And that's all. No, that was for 2 months.
That ain't just something normal.
But his whole upbringing wasn't normal.
I think that was more for mental.
Exactly. It's all mental. That when he wants to shoot that three, he gonna knock that shot down. How many times did he just rise up and shoot, and everybody's like, "Go to the bam, bam." Hey,
I'm just saying
the man is a shooter.
Yeah, I'm not saying he's not, but I think his offense is going to develop. He's going to get better on offense.
If he wants to be that guy, he has to be able to go to his spots on the floor and be able to get a bucket.
He's in the finals at 22.
He's going to be that guy. He's going to be
that guy because nobody can get up in front of him and do anything with his shot. Unlike Chet, whose form is very slow. When he goes up to his shooting motion, if you go up, you're gonna foul him every single time. His shooting arm, the form that he has with his shooting arm, if you're in proximity when he follows through, you're gonna get a foul every single time. But
that's why they was hollering at Williams, like, stop biting for the fake.
Exactly.
Let him shoot. Stop biting for because he's gonna shoot it because he but this is what I'm talking about. I think when I say develop, I think his shot's going to develop a bit more. He's going to do a little bit more. But on to tomorrow night, you have the Spurs against the New York Knicks.
Snooze fest.
Well, who do y'all think? I've always said.
Are you going to watch the game?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
The whole game? From tip
I've always said.
Man, bless y'all.
We don't have nothing else but USFL and
Cat has to turn. Hold on. Cat has to turn into Battle Cat, which I always said.
Yep.
Brunson has to be He-Man. He can't be Prince Adams. And then you got to have the others, which is Orko, Man of Arms, the Sorcerer, all of them. Because the thing is,
no.
The Cat, if they put Cat on Wemby, Cat will be sitting on the bench before the second quarter.
Yes, because he's going to foul him.
Because Cat's going to do something crazy.
And he's going to foul him.
And the thing is, because they're both jump shooters and they're tall, I can see Cat trying to compete and get them out their game.
So who's the best shooter out of Cat and Wemby?
Well, I'm gonna say Cat because Cat actually won the 3-point contest.
I think I pick Wemby. I think Wemby's a better shot than Cat.
Can San Antonio win a game in New York?
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's just look at size.
Yeah.
Size alone, cause Brunson is 6'1", Hart is 6'3" or 6'4", and McBride is like 6'3", 6'4". Mm-hmm. Okay. Castle is 6'5", Harper is 6'5", and the other one is 6'5".
Vessel
Vessel is 6'5". So I'm looking at if SGA had a problem and he's 6'6"
with
Castle,
Mm-hmm.
Brunson gonna have a problem with Castle.
But Brunson's a lot more solid than SGA is. So Castle is not gonna be able to push Brunson around as easy as he did SGA.
Simple question. When Wemby puts the ball on the floor, are the Knicks gonna rotate a double to him?
Yeah, because they're gonna have to.
You sure about that?
Yes.
We don't know.
Cause who's gonna guard him? Robinson or Cat?
I think it'd probably be Robinson and Anunoby.
Yeah,
to be honest,
Anunoby.
to me, there's no way I would never put
Cat on.
Cat.
Like I said, if they put,
I don't think Robinson is gonna be able to handle if they isolate him and make him play 1-on-1. I think Wemby will beat him.
He don't have to handle him. He just got to bully him.
He just has to wall up. So that's why I asked. That's why I asked. Will the Thunder brought a double every time Wemby put it on the floor?
Wemby don't like being bodied.
Are the Knicks going to run a double when Wemby puts it on the floor? That's my biggest question.
It's gonna be the battle of the adjustments. Whoever can make the adjustment
it's really gonna be who's sitting courtside, really and truly.
I just don't see. To me, the Knicks. Well, I'm gonna be honest. The Eastern Conference was the JV league. They played against JV.
Okay, but they've been done how long?
That's good.
Mm-hmm.
They handled JV,
but that's who you had to play.
But this is why I got a problem. People say, well, the Knicks handled JV. Mm-hmm. But the thing is, the JV, they beat them like they were supposed to. It ain't like those close games. Exactly. They beat them by 30, 40. Exactly. And whether it's JV or not, these are still professional players. Exactly. They only had one, the Philadelphia 76ers. They only had one player down, which is Embiid. And we already knew Embiid feet was like it was in cement with that hurt knee. We knew he couldn't do nothing.
Okay, so let's look at the team.
I know this.
They beat them like they were supposed. It's different if they would have had a close game to them. They beat them like they were supposed to.
Flau'jae in Seattle play the Mercury tomorrow night. I'm gonna be watching that game. And Toronto.
Because I think Minnesota would beat most teams in the Eastern Conference in the playoffs. Minnesota.
But old boy was hurt though, yo.
Even with Anthony Edwards in the crew, would have beat them. The Thunder was in the East. They'd be in the East. They'd be in the finals.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, nobody's arguing that.
If the Spurs was in the East, they'd be in the finals. So the Knicks didn't do anything. I don't think no great team in the West would have not done.
Yeah,
because Atlanta would have had nothing coming.
Yeah, we're talking about everybody agrees that the road for the Knicks was, it wasn't like some gauntlet, but they still like Watts said, I'm gonna agree with Watts, but they still beat people.
That's once in a million.
Exactly. they still beat people like they stole something for 11 straight games.
I understand
it'd be different if we could go back and point to this game and say this is a problem with the Knicks. But we can't do that.
I got the Spurs winning in either 5 or 6.
So would you be surprised if it was a sweep either way?
If the Spurs sweep them, no.
Okay.
If the New York sweep them, I would be.
You could see a 22-year-old French-born NBA champion in his first attempt.
Si, senor. Or what is it? We.
I wouldn't be shocked either way. I'm like, I wouldn't be shocked if it went 7. I wouldn't be shocked if it was a gentleman's sweep. I wouldn't be shocked if it went 4-0 either way. This is a wild card.
Who you got?
I can care less.
Exactly. I'm like, that's the real thing.
If you notice, This is why I was telling my son.
We got 2 WNBA games tomorrow.
This is why I was telling my son.
I'm telling you where my TV is gonna be.
I was telling my son today. I said, you really don't have a lot of excitement or hear a lot about this finals.
Yeah, media day was like
unless you're in New York,
church
or you're in
mice.
San Antonio.
And the New York hype is that they haven't won since what, 73 or whatever? 72. Yeah.
So
long as I've been alive.
Well,
because people want to talk about the Cowboys. I'm like, but the Knicks.
Now would it be good for basketball if the Knicks won?
No,
yeah.
no,
yeah, it would.
No, I disagree. The Knicks winning is like the Cowboys winning. It's
good for basketball. But
you need a long time suffering fan
but
base.
The NBA,
and the Knicks are it.
But the NBA would love for Wemby to win it.
Yeah, they want the face of the franchise to win.
The face of the league.
But this is how I say, ain't nobody recurring calls. The NFL made 2 trades yesterday.
That was bigger
and knocked the whole thing where we're not even talking about this championship.
Yeah.
And so let's talk about this because this has to roll before I can play the second part.
Yeah, let's do that. I'm gonna walk out this studio.
Cleveland.
Oh man.
Cleveland made the trade and sent Myles Garrett to the LA Rams.
Sitting here with you. We talked about the stupidity of Myles Garrett even signing that deal.
Yeah, we did.
You remember that?
Yeah,
you remember?
Yeah.
How fake it was. I want to win. I'm demanding a trade. But this is more Cleveland Brown dysfunction.
But I'm not saying it's not. I think they had to get him out because I don't think he really wanted to be there. Hold on. Especially if Watson is going to be a starting quarterback. He didn't want to play for them. If Watson was going to be a starting quarterback, I don't think he wanted to play for them.
No.
And so because he made the statement, allegedly made the statement that if he's the starter, the only one they had there that they was talking about maybe being a starter was Watson. If he's the starter, I don't want to play for this franchise.
Go ahead, yo. What you got to say?
No. Okay. In his contract, he had a no trade clause.
Yeah.
So they had to come with him with this and say, hey, the Rams are coming with a deal.
Was he? What trade was Myles Garrett really going to turn down from the Browns?
No, I heard there were 4 or 5 teams.
You really believe that? Again, do you really believe that?
I believe it because why all of a sudden this happened the first day?
Because nothing happen until June 1st.
Right.
It was better for the books for the Cleveland Browns to have it done on June 1st. It's all about the dollar bill.
But see the move.
And then they had, because I heard that Watson's deal goes up to.
No, Watson's done. Watson's deal expires after. There's nothing about Watson's deal that's anything.
But don't he get like $50 million this year?
That's it though. But there's nothing. Yeah. But here, Cleveland made a quiet move when they restructured. They lengthened his contract.
Yeah.
It made it more
made it more presentable.
Made it more. So now there's no dead money. They reduced the dead money. But here's the thing. Myles Garrett has not been seen or heard from in Cleveland since the last game they played.
TV station.
This is your franchise player, new head coach who has Myles Garrett was the Kawhi Leonard of the NFL.
Yeah.
He didn't engage at all with the Cleveland Browns. And we know who's running that franchise. D Haslam, the wife, is who's running that franchise.
And he didn't have a conversation with the head coach, the new defense coach.
Didn't he pick up his phone with anybody? We
already knew he wasn't coming back.
For months. And she got her feelings hurt. Okay. She got butt hurt about that. And this was This was the best deal that they could come up with. And how many did they get a first round pick?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, they got a first round.
This gonna be this gonna be a late pick. So they gonna
they got a third and a fifth.
But the main cog in this.
So again,
was diverse.
But again, yo, here's what I'm saying. There wasn't some like litany of teams that was trying to get him. Cleveland did what they needed to do to make the move so that the dead money would be gone. And they went out and came up with the simplest player to go and get it to put a package together.
This was already this was already, they couldn't do nothing until June 1st. This was already talked about a long time ago, set in motion, because it happened too quick. This was already set in motion. It's just happened that it did never get out on what was happening.
It didn't ever get out because the stink face would have been all over Cleveland, all over the Cleveland Browns, like normal for the Cleveland Browns.
But they got the other linebacker front that the Rams had. They got Verse, and I think it's gonna put it makes the Rams one of the top players to beat in the NFC.
It's the Rams in Philly.
Well, no.
I don't know about Philly.
No,
I don't know about Philly.
I'm calling it now.
No, what I see is
it's epidemic.
No, that Myles Garrett has been playing with a boring team that doesn't have the lead in the fourth quarter, so he's usually having to get his sacks early. Now with the Rams, he's gonna be up by 20, and so now he can go.
What are you saying?
Well, let me.
I think his numbers are going to be increased.
I don't. Okay.
And I think Aaron Donald is considering coming out of retirement.
If Myles Garrett was that much of a game wrecker, okay, if he's just dismantling your offensive line, if we can't do nothing with him, why are teams against Cleveland dropping back to pass so damn much, yo? It's not like people had to go late into the game to beat Cleveland with the litany of quarterbacks. And look, my point is this. Myles Garrett ain't scared nobody of the regular season games that Cleveland has played. They drop back to pass, and did he go and get 22 or 25 sacks? Yes. As much as we want to say he's this stellar game wrecker, no. I mean, it's not like Deion. We're not throwing to his side of the field. It's how many sacks did we see him get last year where he was getting chipped by a running back? I've seen a whole bunch of running backs running right past him going into the flat.
My thing is, I think what it does
for the Rams, okay,
it helps with their front line, but because they got McDuffie on them back, they picked up McDuffie, and it helps with their front line. And I think it gives them another pass rusher because they got another pass rusher on the other side. Yeah. So it gives them a pass rusher, and then so it helps their team, it helps their offense, and it's gonna do. Will he have more than 22 sacks? There's a possibility. Oh,
I think the NFC
there's a possibility.
The NFC is not going to be the AFC that he dealt with.
But it's not no guarantee, because I seen players that was all world at their one spot get traded to another team.
He played in the AFC North.
They get traded to another team, and they don't.
My Steelers in the North.
They don't have the same sacks.
You playing Baltimore. You playing Cincinnati got Burrow, and we've been lamenting that they can't protect him. I mean, come on. Look, Myles Garrett, nice player. Is this what's going to put the Rams like over the top? I
think it will.
Find that.
I think it can. Let's talk AJ Brown to the New England Patriots.
Now that's what's not, to me, it's not big news. I don't think it helps New England at all.
Me neither.
I think Buffalo is still the team to beat, because I don't think Drake's that guy. And I don't think Drake and AJ is going to come up with the chemistry where they're going to be actually put him on the island to say, "Hey, win me the ball game."
It's gonna help. It's gonna help AJ's numbers.
See, I disagree. Didn't New England lose the running back that they had number 9? Didn't they lose him?
No, Seattle.
No, but
You're talking about Walker.
I thought New England lost the running back.
No, Henderson.
From
Ohio State.
Yeah, I thought they lost. I thought they lost the running back.
No,
I'm. Let's write that down. What was AJ Brown's yard total last year? I don't think he gets to that this year with.
Well, I think he there's a good because he's basically all they have. He's all they have. So the ball is
good
gonna
luck
go
with that.
The ball is gonna go
that.
to him. And what they're banking on is that Drake May is a better quarterback than what he was last year. And the thing is, he didn't have anybody. It wasn't that Diggs wasn't doing anything. To me, it was that Drake May couldn't give him the ball. And I think
nothing has changed.
And,
you better bring Diggs back.
And so I think it's going to be interesting. Is it a big thing that puts them over the hump in the AFC? No, I don't think so. No. I even picking up AJ Brown. I don't think that it puts New England over the hump as one of the best teams.
Well, they picked up Dawgs too. They picked up the Green Bay's other receiver too.
Once again, it don't put them over the hump.
So you got
where they one of the best teams in the AFC.
You got Buffalo, Kansas City,
Baltimore. I know you ain't gonna want to put them up there, but Baltimore,
Buffalo, Kansas City. Let's see. Is Seattle in the AFC?
No.
Yeah, they used to be. To be. I keep
Denver,
Cincinnati, Denver, and then are we
Houston?
Houston might.
And then you also got Jacksonville.
Them the five. Is New England gonna get? I mean, and then you got Baltimore at 6.
Yeah,
and like I said,
New England is 7th at best.
Denver is going to be a lot better than what if they had Bo Nix last year.
Yeah,
New England wouldn't even make it to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So
and it's somebody else.
That's why I say I don't think it's going to put them over the hump.
Oh, Indianapolis?
No, not them.
So then, because I know it ain't Tennessee. We know it ain't the Jets. We know it ain't. Let's see.
Pittsburgh might sneak up in there.
No, I don't think so.
Pittsburgh might sneak up in there.
I don't think so. The offensive line is
still bad.
Yeah.
But we're still talking about a decent squad over what you're dealing with for a lot of these other teams. And Pittsburgh was still a playoff team. A lot about New England is going to end up who they got to face at what time. I haven't looked at their
No, we looked at their schedule. Their schedule is hard.
New England has a top schedule.
Yeah, they have one of the top schedules.
So it's going to be hard for me.
So don't they play the NFC North this year? Is it the NFC North or the NFC West? They play one of them.
It's going to be hard for them to sneak up into the top 6 with AJ. And he's going to be he's
going to be reading another book.
Are the antics in New England going to be worse than the antics was in Philly?
Yes.
Ooh, that's the only thing to watch.
Because I just don't see, because I think we looked at their schedule, but I think they either play the NFC North or the NFC.
So you got the Chargers up in there.
Oh, yeah, we forgot about them. Yeah. There we go. I knew it was a West Coast team. That's who we forgot about.
Yeah.
I think the Chargers in New England are going to be like in this tight race to like make the playoffs.
If.
A whole lot of ifs.
Because their schedule is horrid. I think 3 through 10. They're playing the team that last year's schedule was a 500 schedule.
And then you got to see. Let's see. The guy in Denver got hurt last year, and May got hurt the year before, right?
Yes.
Okay, so now you got to. I mean, AJ's 30, what? 31, 32?
Yes, somewhere around there.
I mean, whatever.
So the Patriots schedule, you got Seattle,
loss.
Pittsburgh,
loss.
Jacksonville,
loss.
Buffalo,
loss.
Las Vegas,
win.
The Jets,
win.
Chicago Bears,
loss.
Miami Dolphins,
maybe
win. They'll win that.
Okay.
They'll win that.
They'll
win that.
So they're 3 and
they're 5-3.
Then they got Green Bay,
Loss.
Then they got the Chargers.
Loss.
Buffalo.
Loss.
The Vikings.
Loss.
Kansas City.
Loss. And then by the end, he's gonna be better.
New York Jets.
Win.
Denver Broncos.
Loss.
And then they end the season with the Miami Dolphins.
Win. They're gonna struggle. They are going to struggle to make the playoffs.
So they're gonna be 6-11.
Something
we
like
got.
that.
Yeah,
Something like that.
That's what I was trying to tell my brother-in-law B. I was like, bro, y'all schedule is hard.
They will struggle to make the playoffs. They can't win the division. That's gonna be Buffalo.
They're gonna have to win at least 2 games that they're not supposed to win.
Yes,
and then win the ones that they are.
To be a 500 team, and that's what AJ. Okay, hey, you know what?
So they
Good
playing.
for AJ.
So they playing the AFC West and the NFC North.
The North, yeah, because they got the Vikings and Chicago.
Yeah. So that and then they got to play the AFC East. That's gonna be the easiest part of their schedule.
Exactly.
It's playing a division
because they get the Jets and the Dolphins twice.
Yeah,
they're gonna feast on that.
Yeah, because the Chiefs, the Broncos, the Chargers, the Bears, the Packers
gonna tear that tail.
Oh,
up.
and they play the Lions. Don't they play the Lions too?
They don't have them. No, they just
They
play
only-
Vikings and Bears.
Yeah, Vikings and Bears. They don't have the Lions up in there.
See, that'd have been another L. So that's what I was trying to tell B. I was like, B, it don't matter. Y'all schedule is hard. Y'all don't play no soft teams.
No, they have a first place schedule.
Yes.
Yeah. So
because Seattle gonna come out and try to make a statement on them.
Oh yeah, everybody gonna make a statement.
They played the first game.
Yeah, that's the Thursday night game.
Yeah,
that's the Thursday night game.
That's an L
because Seattle has to prove a point that it's not a fluke by them giving up Walker.
Yeah. And you know Darnold is gonna be on it, and then the receiver, JSN,
JSN,
he gonna really try to prove a point that I am that guy.
And this is the first game of the season with everybody
watching. Yeah.
Oh man, L. hey, like somebody said, AJ has made indictments against the quarterback against Jalen Hurts, publicly and privately. He's doing this because he doesn't believe in Jalen Hurts. Guess what, player?
You won a Super Bowl with him.
You won a Super Bowl with him, and you gonna have to show your backside now.
Well, like I said, this trade wasn't. It didn't excite me like hearing Myles
Vrabel
Garrett.
does AJ better than he does his wife. And with that, I'm out.
We ain't going there. This trade didn't excite me as much as the Myles Garrett to the Rams.
No, it didn't.
To me, it didn't move the needle.
No,
it didn't move the needle.
No,
the Myles Garrett trade, I think, moves the needle.
Yes.
For the Rams, it moves the needle.
Yes.
Because that was one thing they were lacking last year was the pass rush, and then also lacking on the back end. And they got McDuffie to help with the back end. They got Garrett for the pass rush.
Yeah.
And then let alone if they get Aaron Donald to come out to give them 20 snaps a game or just to play the last 8 of the season to sew up the middle. Because Aaron Donald now he's not getting double teamed.
Right, because now you got Garrett next to you.
Yeah.
So you're gonna have to choose your poison.
Yeah.
So, but like I tried to tell my brother-in-law, I said, bro, y'all have a very difficult schedule. It don't matter. Drake May ain't gonna be able to get the ball out there to AJ. Because he gonna be under duress.
It's gonna be interesting. But we got the second part of interview with Mr. Caden McFarland. We want to thank Mr. Byron Perry for being on the show. Appreciate it. Appreciate the love, man.
Knicks in 4.
Y'all know he don't believe that. He don't believe it. Hey,
what they say? What we say back in the days? Say no to drugs.
He don't believe that, y'all. Hey, but we just play the rest of the interview with Mr. Caden McFarland, and then we're gonna come back on. We're gonna end the show.
and Nick Collison. But I'll say this: Big Al and myself were making our way through a tunnel. We had interviewed in the locker room in front of us, just like inches away. Big Al and myself were making our way through a tunnel, spring open, and just in front of us, just like inches away, the room where double doors doing its satellite interview with players. And out comes LeBron James, the room where NBA TV was doing its satellite interview with players. And moments after he's become an NBA champion for the first time, and like that away from LeBron James, memory, and moments after he's become an NBA champion for the first time, and like that, we followed along behind him, memory, for a little bit. Al and I both just went silent, looked at each other, and so we followed along behind him. For one of the most meaningful moments of his career, like that one stands out. Now, greatness, talking about in one of the most meaningful moments of his career, that I have actually that one really stands out to know. Now, if you're talking about someone, and like I can't that I have actually really got. Boy, that's a good question. It would have to be probably like an old timer, like right? I can't believe somebody that's more of a contemporary. Boy, that's a good question. It would have to be probably like. And I know he's in the news now, but if it's somebody that's more of a contemporary, the Josh Jacobs, like for instance, coming from where I know he's in the news now, and then being there for his signing day, the Josh Jacobs story, become as coming from where he came from, like McLean, and then being there for his signing day, and now what he's become as an all-pro. Like it's a pleasure to watch a month or two ago, and he told me he's doing farming out east of Dallas. Anyway, a month or two ago, you remember these kids when they were in farming out east of Dallas, through college, and then they end up doing what they do in the NFL. You remember these kids when they were in high school? Really cool, but it's different when you knew somebody in high school doing what they do in the NFL. Starstruck, really cool, but it's different when you knew somebody in high school. It's not like you can be starstruck by them. Throw some questions at him when they were here for the Big Three thing, and then I also interacted and getting to throw some questions at him when they were here for the Big Three thing, and then I also interacted with, or just met him briefly at a Dallas Cowboys game way back in like 03, 04 when he was in the prime of his NBA career. I definitely remember being starstruck by that. But if you talk about like professional highlights for me, what it really is doing a really good job on a story, and we've been lucky to win some awards, but it's usually doing a good job on a story about somebody who's smaller. And maybe that's not the best way to say it, but we won an award called a Telly. Well, just last year, we won an OAB award for a 30-minute documentary series we did called The Program, where we went around to some different high school athletic departments here and, did a sit down with the coach and showed off some of their facilities and talked about the history of the program. And we submitted the 30-minute episode we did on Sand Springs and won an award just last year. And Bobby Klink is a guy that I just love interacting with. And we did a story on how he takes so much pride in his yard and how he mows it and how it looks and all that sort of thing. Like doing that sort of thing that's very much community based and feel like you do it well and you represent them well. And then even it's acknowledged by people. That's sort of the highest of the high for me. It's not necessarily that I interacted with Kevin Durant or Russell Westbrook, because those were cool. And you could be starstruck. Although I'll say this, and I thought about it just the other day. I remember being in the locker room with Kevin Durant, and there was a guy at Channel 8 named John Moss, who was always like way ahead of the curve on how he dressed. He was pretty, he was pretty fly. And Kevin Durant struck up a conversation with him, about the shoes he was wearing and his outfit. And we talked a little bit. And like, I remember like those guys were probably nicer and more normal than a lot of us remember now, because of the way Durant left. Maybe not Westbrook as much, but certainly Kevin Durant. So there are some interactions like that with superstars that certainly come to mind, and that's like pretty cool. But the thing I'm most proud of is when we do a story that's very local, community-based, shining the spotlight on people that may not otherwise have the spotlight shined on them, and feel like we did it well, took the time to really do it well. Those are the greatest highlights for me professionally.
Okay. So let's talk a little bit of sports here. We'll start with the Thunder. As we know, they went to Game 7. The crowd is rocking. You don't really see the Oklahoma City Thunder fans is one of the few fans during playoffs that you actually see probably 98% to 99% of them wearing the T-shirts that's on the seats, and the crowd is just rocking. The heartbreak that they had. what do you think they should make any changes, or do you think they should run it back?
So it's a great question. They will make changes because of the money, in contract situations. I don't know exactly what those changes are, and I hesitate to even speculate. Isaiah Hartenstein, Lou Dort, Case, and Wallace, there are decisions to be made on all of those guys because they're under contract with the team for only next season. And so if you want anything in return for those guys, you either, trade them away now or you sign them and keep them long term. So I don't think that they can probably keep all three. I would love it. I hesitate to say just run it back. I think it's true that for this season, if Jalen Williams and AJ Mitchell had been healthy, the Thunder were better than the Spurs. And I believe the Thunder would have won the Western Conference Finals had they been healthy and whole.
Agreed.
So it is tempting to say, Chet Holmgren in Game 7, that needs to be addressed and he needs to improve. But where's the fire, really? You know what I mean? If they were good enough to win it this year, let's just run it back. Hopefully you're healthy and see if you can't beat them again. But, the Thunder this year, in my mind, because of AJ Mitchell's improvement, if they'd been healthy, even if they only had one of Jalen Williams or AJ Mitchell, I think they were better than they were 1 year ago when they won the championship. So you fall short of a championship this year, but I think they're better. In the same way, I think the San Antonio Spurs, even if they beat the Knicks and are the champions this year, they'll be better. The bar you've got to clear next year is probably even higher than it was this year against this Spurs team that might be the NBA champion. So it's not about rolling it back out and, because there's no guarantee, a guy like Lou Dort or Alex Caruso, for instance, that they'll be as healthy at this time next year as they are this year. There's no guarantee even at their age that they'll be better. They might even regress a little bit. That happens in the careers of pro athletes. So to catch the Spurs, I think Sam Presti's going to have to be really intentional about some of the moves he makes and the draft picks, and whether he bundles picks and moves up a little bit or uses both of them. You've got to bring in guys who can help you. And if you're losing somebody, Hartenstein, Dort, Wiggins, Case, whoever it may be, he's got to supplement with guys who can help and guys who match up well with the Spurs, or as good as you possibly can with the Spurs. So changes are coming. I like their chances of being on equal footing with the Spurs when I assume they meet again 1 year from now. But it's going to be tough to beat that team. And so it's a shame that they weren't healthy this year, because I think they were the better team, and it would have been nice to get a second title before those guys really get over the hump. And it's possible that the Spurs are about a week away from ultimately getting over that hump and being the team to beat in this league. And that's fine. I think it'll be cool for the Thunder to be the hunter as opposed to the hunted. They'll be right there, but it's going to be a difficult task to take those guys down.
Yeah, I know when it first happened, I was saying, well, maybe need to get rid of Chet. But then after letting everything cool off and sitting back and thinking about it, I'm like, okay, let's give him another year. Let's see. Because I did think he shrunk, especially after he got dunked on. I think he shrunk a whole lot. I don't think this Western Conference Finals was his best series at all. Yeah. We've seen him play a lot better. I think he probably need to bulk up some. I did think that the changes that might be made, I can see the Thunder getting rid of Lou Dort in some kind of trade. I've mentioned about, well, maybe they might bundle that 12th and 16th pick along with two players, maybe Dort and Wiggins, because they can't keep all of them. I like Wallace. I wouldn't get rid of Wallace because he's young, he's a defensive threat, plus his offense is steady and proven. I thought I always tell somebody, I thought the best move that Presti has made since he's been there, to me, is picking up Alex Caruso.
That's a good one.
I thought when he picked up Alex, the first year, the Thunder were young. There was really no veterans there. And I thought when he picked up Alex Caruso and brought him in, it gave them a veteran presence, also a championship mindset that he's learned from LeBron James and them. And you can see that next year how SGA's mentality changed. I don't know if he really said that. I always said maybe Caruso came in and said, hey, you're the man on his team. At the end of the games, you got to take control. And because I thought that year where they made it but didn't quite get all the way, I thought SGA backed up and wouldn't take control of the ball or something. But the next year, you've seen the difference. And I thought that fire of Caruso, I call him a pizza man. And and people say, why? I said, because he always delivers. But I like the pickup. I know they're going to have to make some changes because the Spurs has picks just like the Thunder has picks. And they still be trying to figure out how they can tweak and improve their team. I thought Fox was the key to the Spurs. I'm like, hey, kick him in his ankle. Do something. Get him off the floor. But he didn't. I didn't like how the Thunder didn't when Wemby got in foul trouble, had fouls. I didn't like how I'm used to old school, where if they got a big man in foul trouble, they're gonna go at him to get him out. Mm-hmm. This new age basketball is hard for me to get used to, but I'm adjusting. But I do think the Thunder has a good chance. I like this. I like what they have. I like the future and what they can do and the maneuvering they can do. I was always wondering why is Isaiah Joe not playing in this series, because he had a heck of a series in the series before, and this Western Conference Finals you didn't really see him. But Dagno, he had his reasons. He understood what he was doing, and I like McCain, and I always believe that when anybody that they bring in you have the Patriot way, where you have the Thunder way. Sure. And I believe you're gonna have to fall in line, and if you don't fall in line and in sync, I believe they're gonna get rid of you. Contracts is real friendly. We got friendly contracts. You got 3 major big contracts, but here it is. You got Williams is on a 3-year, $24 million contract, and he played well above the $8 million that he's getting paid. Sure. But when you understand your role and you understand how to maneuver, it helps. And I like what the Thunder has, and I like the future.
Yeah. A series like this crystallizes some things, right? And so you hit on it, like Alex Caruso. That's a winning player against, I assume the Spurs are going to win against the best team in basketball this year. Cason Wallace, same thing. That's a winning player. And you see, like Wiggins, like he was exposed in a way that he had not been against lesser teams. And so it lets you know, okay, as much as you love these guys, and there's still value probably in Wiggins at, I think, $9.2 million if they choose to bring him back. But, maybe you're looking for something a little bit different in this particular matchup, because this is the team you're going to have to beat to win the West. And that's where, and you mentioned Chet, you're paying that guy $41 million starting next year. Yeah. And he's got to play like it. Yes. Against this team. And look, I am not ruling out that Sam Presti would move him. If Presti is convinced that this isn't getting better against this team, he might. Now, I don't think so, because he's young enough. And, you mentioned him getting dunked on. He's been dunked on before, and I've seen him respond the right way as a competitor. I've seen him continue to try and protect the rim. There was something different about this matchup, about Wemby. His sword really was broken, and it was maddening. I'm sure it was for you too, in the second half of that game when the Spurs are playing great defense and the Thunder offensive players, there are 4 of them, working their tails off to get a good shot, and the ball finds Chet's hands. And instead of taking it in that moment, which is your responsibility as a teammate, they have worked to set this up. When you pass it and now we have to start over again, you're hijacking possessions. You're letting everybody else down. And you can't have that. And so he is skilled enough, in my opinion, has the hand-eye coordination and the ability to move well enough that he can develop something. Shoot a little bit higher. Like he shoots like a guard where he bends down and winds up and pulls from the eye or the nose. Inside, that's fine from 3, I suppose. I would still like to see him speed that up too. But he's got to find a couple of spots on the floor where he can just catch and get it up quickly, because they need you to be that guy who is ready to score and able to put it in. And so there are some really simple things that, frankly, I'm surprised he hasn't added it to his game by now, but that he needs to get in the lab and add to his game that can help them against the Spurs. And then finishing at the rim, that was probably the most egregious issue throughout the series. It wasn't Wembanyama blocking his shot. It was when Wemby was on another side of the floor and Chet had an offensive rebound or somebody set him up and he couldn't finish at the rim. Then you've got to find a way to be ready to score, to catch the ball, to gather and get up faster than you were in this series. You can't have Stephon Castle and Vassell blocking your shots if you're Chet Holmgren. You just can't have it for a $41 million player.
But that, when I seen that, that's what made me say, okay, he's defeated. He's pretty much done this series, because you can see the difference when they brought in Hardenstein and Hardenstein played, and when Chet came in, I was like, oh, let's just keep Chet on the bench. but because you can see the defeatedness was all over his body, all over his body language, everything. And it was like, okay, I understand he want to go with him because this is his other number 2 player, but sometimes you just don't want, it's a fine line, because you don't want to keep him on the bench and defeat him that way, but then he's in the game and he's defeated this way. Even during the press conference, he still looked just defeated. And so it's gonna be interesting to see what they're going to do, how they're gonna maneuver. I don't know. People say, well, they might go Giannis. I don't know about that one. It looks good on paper. Giannis won't shrink to the whole situation. Yeah. But it's a fine line. Can he adjust to what the Thunder do? Yeah. So you got the New York Knicks and the San Antonio Spurs. Who you got?
I'll take the Spurs. I know that the matchup in the regular season went the way of the Knicks, and Jacob Toby, who's the Spurs play-by-play guy, used to work here at 2 News Oklahoma. I chat with him, and he really does think some of the matchups are more in the Knicks' favor in this series than they were in the Thunder. There are just a couple of things they do that give the Spurs trouble. So I'm aware of that. I know that the Spurs just came through a 7-game war, and perhaps they're a little fatigued. They're the favorite, and maybe as a young team, they come into this without exactly the right mindset, and New York can take advantage of all those things. But at the end of the day, I look at 2 teams, and I just think the Spurs are better. And so it's hard for me to pick against. I felt the same way Game 7. I picked the Spurs because I felt like, OKC has the home court advantage, and they've got the experience advantage. They've been in Game 7s before. There are these things you can talk yourself into. But with no Jalen Williams, no A.J. Mitchell, I just think the Spurs are the better team. In this matchup with the Knicks, I just think the Spurs are the better team. And while I think they probably will lose one of the first 2 games at home, and this series ends up going longer than I would have probably guessed if you'd asked me this a week ago, I don't know why I have that hunch. I just do. It just feels like New York's going to steal one of the first 2. I just think over the course of 7 games, the better team wins, and I think that'll be the Spurs.
Well, I believe I've made this scenario, especially since He-Man coming out, said Karl Anthony Towns, Cat, he can't be Cringer, he got to be Battle Cat. Brunson can't be Prince Adams, he got to be He-Man. And then you got to bring in all the other ones, which is Oracle, Man at Arms, all champ. You got to bring in all them, and because you got to play a complete game to be able to Spurs. Yeah, and like I said, the Garden is going to be rocking when they go back to New York. It's going to be crazy, and so it's going to be real interesting. High school sports.
Yeah,
you have Booker T going up to 6'2" this year. I think that's very interesting. I think that's going to be interesting, especially battling the likes of Muskogee, Sapulpa. Bixby, their train is still rolling. But I do believe Union has to make an impact this year. They cannot do what they did last year. What do you think?
Yeah, Bixby is the favorite, should be the favorite. They have earned all of that. They lose a lot, more than in a typical year. And so, I think especially at maybe Broken Arrow, where, I like that roster. I like what Travis Hill's doing. Maybe you see this as your opportunity to sneak in there and, finally have somebody else in 6A1 punch back against Bixby. I think Owasso probably feels the same, and there have been a couple of move-ins there that probably elevate, that starting offense especially. But, you've got a quarterback that this will be his third year as a starter. So I think Owasso and Broken Arrow both feel that way. Jenks plays a brutal schedule, do they not?
Yeah.
Starting with South Lake Carroll in the Cotton Bowl. Yeah. But, I love what Adam Gaylor did in year one as a head coach. And that Jenks will be heard from and they will be in the mix. And Union is the team where I'm wondering to myself, what are we in for here? It was alarming last year, but it was also a difficult situation, year one for Antonio. Where and how, what kind of improvement can Union make? Are we in danger of them falling so far behind the other four that it doesn't even necessarily make sense in the year 2026 to use that Big Five moniker? Or does Union sort of find something? And it is, now more than a year on the job, all of the seeds Antonio's planting, did you start to see those things sprout up? Union is the most interesting team in 6A1 from a couple of perspectives. It's certainly worth monitoring. You got that beautiful stadium, best in the entire state, proud tradition. And, it's a program that, like, nobody is going to allow that thing to stay down very long, but there's a lot of ground to make up based on what we saw from them last season. So let's see how much ground they can make up. Booker T in 6A2, great point. I mean, I love the foundation that program's on. There are a couple of kids, who have been lost, I suppose, to the portal, if you will.
Yes.
Some of it all the way out to Florida and IMG, that would have been helpful. But I feel like, I think they're in good hands and there's some stability to the program, even as they move up to 6A2. They're going to be a handful for a lot of people. Muskogee, year two under Condit, that'll be interesting to monitor. I think kind of like with Graham at Union, there's just, even if you're a guy who knows what he's doing, has had incredible success, walking into a new situation, there are challenges that come with it. So how far along are they in year two? And then on down to, 3A in Lincoln Christian and the state's second longest current winning streak. How much longer does that go? And that's a program that's so committed to winning all the way down to the lowest levels. And you see now all the work that has been done, administration and coaches through the years, they've become very difficult to deal with. So it's going to be a fun year. You start with Bixby as the number one storyline always, but it does feel like, especially at Broken Arrow, Owasso, and then also Jenks, there is perhaps this opening where Bixby isn't loaded for bear in quite the way that they have been in some other recent years.
Yeah, I think this is the first year. And like I said, you have the transfer issue for the first time this year. And I think that's going to be interesting to see just how that fall and how it grows from this year, because you do have a lot of implants from one school to another school that took place this year. And so that's going to be very interesting. Like I said, I think Union is the wild card in 6A1. They're the unknown to see just what we're going to do in the wild card. I like what Coach Hill is doing out there. He's having to redevelop and their program is growing. They have some implants that came in this year. So it's gonna be very interesting to see high school sports when it comes. I know we're getting ready to do. We go around to a lot of the coaches and we do interviews with them. We bring them in. We call it our high school roundup. And so we've implemented. We've had Sand Springs. We started off with the Chelsea Public Schools, and now we done branched out where we have Union, we have Bixby. Coach Montgomery has been faithful doing it for the Fire. Because I know when I first got Coach Montgomery, they was like, "How did you get Coach Montgomery to do this?" I said, "I called and I asked," and he said yes, and I said, "Okay." So,
he's a good guy.
Yeah. So we branched it out. We branched out to Sand Springs and Muskogee. Each year we try to add a school on it where we bring all the coaches. We couldn't do it last year because I was out of town. My son had a kidney transplant, and so I was doing all that last year. And so, but this year we're gonna go back to it, and we're gonna go and we interview the coaches. Just a high school football roundup, 15-minute interview to see what the new year is gonna be, and it's gonna be interesting and a lot of fun. And I enjoy it. And I want to thank you for coming on. We got to come back on where we can talk college sports too. So
absolutely, anytime, absolutely. This has been fun. I appreciate it, Jeremiah.
Well, I thank you. Before we get off, barbecue. Are you a beef bologna man, ribs, or brisket?
Oh, I love it. I was not prepared for that. I've become a brisket guy. I used to be pork mostly. I've become a brisket guy. Now I can't get off here without asking you, if I'm a brisket man, what is your recommendation here in Tulsa? Where do I need to go?
I don't know. It's hard to say.
I like the sandwich where they go brisket sliced. I go a little leaner than some people. I apologize. That probably upsets some out there listening. Sliced brisket, and then like the sausage with some jalapeno in it on top. So you get, the two meat with some bread. That's my kind of barbecue right there. Yeah, and some sauce with heat.
Yeah. So you like the hot stuff.
Well, that's relative, right? I grew up in New Mexico where we eat a lot of hot stuff. So I think I can handle hot stuff until you taste something that you've never handled before. So, it depends on the recommendation. I think I like hot stuff, but it's possible there's something out there that would take me down.
So do you do the smoked bologna?
I'm not a big smoked bologna guy. No,
you're not.
Have not been, but I'll try. Where would you like me to go?
Smoked bologna is hard to do, especially if you don't really know how to do it. A lot of places really don't. I know Clark's have a pretty good smoked bologna. Okay. But me, I do the beef. When I smoke my meat, I do beef bologna, and a lot of people don't do bologna, but if you smoke it right, it's nice.
Is that right?
It's nice if you smoke it right.
So, how long is that process with bologna? Is that shorter than some others, or are you starting that the night before on low heat and
No, you can do beef bologna in about 2-3 hours.
Okay. I thought it was probably shorter. Yeah.
Get a good smoke on it. Yeah, get a good smoke on it. Get a little burn smoke on it, and poke some holes in it, and let it go for about 2 or 3 hours, and it'll be real nice.
Okay. Very good. That's good to know. That's a great way to end the show right there.
That's it. So, but thank you for coming on. I really do appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Like I said, we had to get you on again so we can talk some college sports.
Anytime. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. You have a good, awesome, blessed day.
Same to you. Thanks, Jeremiah.
All right. Bye-bye. All right. That was Mr. Caden McFarland of the KGRH sports director and also co-host of the Pat Jones Morning Show. All right, y'all. We had a good show for you today. Be on the lookout for things that we got coming up real soon. We're gonna have our football roundup coming up next month. We also finna to bring some high school students in, some elementary students in the next 2 or 3 weeks. So be on the lookout for all that we finna have going on the $2 Sports Talk Show. All right, scripture of the week. Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Matthew 5:33. Before we go, I want to say happy pre-birthday to my wife, Miss Velvet Brown Watts. Her birthday is on Saturday, June 6th. Happy pre-birthday. Also, happy birthday to my goddaughter, Miss Ariana. Her birthday is Thursday, June 5th. No, Friday, June 5th. Her birthday is June 5th. So say happy birthday to her. And so, hey, you bark at us.
Happy birthday, Velvet. We
bark back.
Babylon, me and baby stronger than pop. Better ready, dismantle demons like chop shops. My team on go. Staying high cause I'm low. Once you gotta get a W, ain't taking L.